Yes, yes, yes. Namaste, man. So yesterday I posted this idea that credit is super important. The the less money you have, the more important it is for you to maintain your credit. This is your this is your financial reputation. And in the money game, reputation is everything. What if I had a bad reputation in I've written a couple books, right? You don't have to die broke. My stock trading strategy, I trade that or sell that. I do a boot camp sometimes. What if my reputation was he's full of shit, or that book sucks, or that strategy doesn't work? Like, no one would buy it. I wouldn't have the effect I have where people, like, every day people come to me because, hey, my friend said, he did this, or he had a 40% return, or you helped him understand stocks, or he got into real estate because of you, or he started using the bucket strategy you teach, and they tell a friend, and the friend goes, hey, could I get your free ebook? And through that process, that's because of reputation. So reputation in the money game is your credit score. You can use your credit score. You can leverage it to go from not having a lot to acquiring assets that'll give you a lot. So inside the book, I say there's a chapter 2. It's so important. It's the concept, and it's more the philosophy. A lot of this stuff is going to work because you have a philosophy of wealth building, or a philosophy of compounding, or a philosophy of believing in the stock market, or believing in business, or you have a philosophy. And in the book, I talk about this idea of I try to grow a little bit richer every day. And I'm not saying that's the best strategy, or my way's the best way to handle debt, or my way's the best way to do real estate, or my way's the best way to trade stocks. This is just what works for me. And what I've learned over just 20 years now, trying to make money with money, like to compound money, to try to double money. I'm always thinking, how can I double this money in the next 7 to 10 years? How can I double this money in the next 7 to 10 years? And if I'm in the process of every day as a philosophy of life, of taking chunks of money, taking racks of money, and trying to grow that into bags of money, to then, vaults of money, like that's a process of mine. And once you understand the process of rolling profits forward, even though you're starting with a little bit, like $500 in a brokerage account. Well, guess what? You're not going to just have one brokerage account. You're going to be a person that has 4, 5, 6, 7 different checking accounts, brokerage accounts, right? You're going to own 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 houses. You're going to own 2 apartment buildings. You're going to own 100 trailers. You're going to own 2 storage sheds. You're going to have 3 different businesses. You're going to have 2 side hustles. You're going to create this, sell this, make this. Like, you have a philosophy or a way of living, of pushing your intent into the universe so that you can give to other people and receive from other people. Like, that's how we make all of our money. So for me, it's trying to make just a general way of thinking about everything, and then just trying to live within the framework of that. So if I have a philosophy that, like, first fruits need to be invested, meaning I make money and first I invest, and then I try to figure out how to live on the rest. If I try to honor that philosophy in life, then I'm going to have to make adjustments. Maybe who I marry, or who I date, or what I do for a living, right? I don't get the luxury of saying, well, this is my passion, so I'm just going to be broke to pursue this passion of being instructor, like a canoeing instructor, or something that doesn't tend to pay a lot, but that's your passion. Well, guess what? You might need to go do some shit that you don't want to do to make money, so that you can invest money, so that you could build wealth, so that you can even go afford to do your passion. In The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Waddle says, no man, and this is right in my book, chapter 2, no man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. And because of that, your first focus, your first thought when you do things, or when you make a decision, or when you move, or you take a job, or you get married, is around the process of wealth. Because wealth is how you're going to feed your kids, how you're going to get to pick their college, what kind of car your wife is going to drive, the kind of food you're going to eat, your medical insurance, the kind of house you're going to live in. So some people may hear that and they go, ugh, I don't think you should make decisions based on money, and they kind of downplay it. And it's like, no, dude, Like, that's how your husband will take care of you. That's how you will take care of your kids. So it needs to be priority number one. You need to make decisions based upon on money and wealth, like not after the fact. And so what we see here in our country is after the fact, like all this student debt. Like, you didn't think when you borrow a bunch of fucking money, it's hard to pay back. Like, duh. So if you had a philosophy that says, I don't want to borrow money unless money pays me, and you could make the case with me that if you went and got like an actual fucking degree that paid good money, cool, invest in you. I'm cool with you borrowing money to get you through college. You become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, an MBA in business. Like, you go get some shit that actually makes money. But to go get a student, to go get college, to go make the same as a guy who just works at Home Depot or drives for FedEx or any number of jobs that you don't need college to get, that's a bad investment. It didn't make any sense, right? And now you're saddled with debt and you're making the same as the dude at Walmart, Home Depot, Target, and yet you got this debt over your head. So now, due to life decisions, you're gonna have a very hard time of building wealth. That's why I say you gotta attack that fucking debt. Car payments. I'm not mad at people for having car payments, although in the book I teach it. But I am mad if because of them, you now can't participate in building wealth and building your empire and providing for you and your family. Because if you provide for your family, if you get rich, I don't have to fucking take care of you. I don't have to pay taxes to take care of people. If they would wake up every day with the first thought is, okay, we need to get a little bit richer today. Our family needs to get a little bit richer. What decisions could we make? What decisions could we make to keep us from maybe the way you get richer is you don't go backwards. Maybe you don't go backwards. And so you don't go do a bunch of dumb shit, right? You don't throw a vacation on a credit card when you don't actually even have the money to go on vacation. Like, you don't have $5,500 and fucking dollars, and yet you put it on a card to go on vacation, and you literally finance taking time off. Taking time off, you're not making any money. And you say, yeah, Gerald, but I'm gonna get paid at my job. Okay, well then you could have stayed at your job, and then when you took the time off, you could have took the time off to work on your business, or to go work full-time in your side hustle, or to go remodel a house. What if you took a vacation and the whole family worked on a fucking property that you fixed, put out into the marketplace, increased the equity, and during your 2-week vacation, you make $20,000 more net worth? What if you spend the whole month working on a remodel? So you go buy a house and then you schedule vacation and you work on it on night, on weekends, throughout the week, but you schedule vacation so that you can 12 hours a day grind on that house, and when you're done, you now have an asset worth $150,000, $200,000 paying you money. You ever think about taking vacation to do that? I did that shit. You'll hear people say Gerald doesn't go on vacation. You know why? Because Gerald goes about doing his dreams. I don't need a fucking day off. I want to go do and chase and get the thing that I came here to get. You get what I'm saying? So if you have things you want to do, you can just go do those. You can take a vacation to get what you want. You want that business. Well, take a vacation to get the business. Like, that's a mind shift, though. It's philosophy. So when you have a philosophy that the world is ending, you're negative, there's too much money being printed, the economy's going to collapse, you don't think that affects how you invest? Of course it does. But when you have a philosophy of positivity, things are going to be great. The economy's going to recover. We just saw it during COVID. All of the fear, what did that pay? Nothing. What did it pay if you were positive? What did it pay if instead of going on vacation or taking time off during COVID, you would have doubled down, worked 80 fucking hours a week, worked a side job, and pushed all of that money in the stock market the last 8 months? What would have happened? You could have easily made $100,000 by just applying yourself and working harder and doing something, and just gave up this year. Instead of sitting at fucking home, you were developing something, doing something, pushing something, recording something. Like, you were just pushing and you weren't taking time off. What would happen? What would happen if you did that for 3 years? Here's what people miss. You're like, well, dude, I don't want, no. What you're missing is the effect 10 years later. You know what happens 10 years later when all the money that you pushed in, you put $100,000 this fucking year in the market. You know what happens in 10 years to that? You think it's just $250,000? Dude, it could be $500,000. Then, not now. So now, okay, now we go take our little break, we relax, we get our shit back, and what? We go about that again. But that's a philosophy of life. That's living in a certain way where it's about getting richer every day. And so you're looking at everything. So you don't shit on everything. You're like, cool, okay, so this, look, I can't find a house. What about trailers? They're like, what do you mean? You said houses are too expensive in your area. That probably means there's a lot of people that would live in a fucked up trailer. So you could go to Texas and buy a fucked up trailer and move it to where you live, put it on a lot, fix it, make a deal with the lot manager. I'll pay your lot rent. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put renters in there. And you pay cash for the whole deal. Now you're in the trailer game, which is what? The cash flow game. Right? I got messages coming through. Now you're in the cash flow game, but you said I wanted to get in the real estate game. Shit, you're in the real estate game. You're renting a lot. You say, but trailers go down. Who cares? We're going to get more in rent. And then we're going to take that money and we're going to put that money into what? Into an account so that what? We can get to the house. And so maybe we got to buy 2 or 3 trailers to get to the house. And maybe we got to buy 10 or 15 houses to get to the apartments. But you're only going to do that if you're on that game every day. This idea of building wealth, growing and expanding every day. It's the same way you lift weights. I get a lot of fitness people that talk to me and they're looking for the hack or the quick thing. And it's like, no, you didn't get that in building those muscles. It's every day you're on this game. And so what that looks like is I need money. I need to do things. I need to put in a few hours. I need to make this. I need to go here. I need to not spend this, not buy that, not give him that. Like I got to focus. It's got to be about me. Because the only way you can help other people is when it's about you. So you focusing on you, getting your mind right. Health, wealth, mindset, right? Getting into the 10 pillars of success. Getting into the philosophical philosophy of just compounding money. That money doubles every 7 to 10 years. Well, what about 1,000 today? I put 1,000 in the market today. What happens to that 1,000 in 10 years? It's what, 10, 20,000? Well, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Which means in 10 years, I'm instead of getting 1,000, I put in 1,000. Then I'm going to receive 10, 20,000. And I'm going to be receiving from all these years of depositing. You get it? And so you begin to multiply money. What could I do with 20,000 then? I could, instead of doing a 1,000 buy-in, I could do a $20,000 buy-in. And when you begin to see money as this way of multiplying and rolling, this is what trading brings to the game. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, a lot of people fail. But guess what? Being a movie star ain't easy. Being a professional sports player ain't fair. A lot of people fail. Does that mean we don't chase it? Does that mean we don't do it? Of course not. So we don't take advice. This is my problem. Back to Dave Ramsey. This is my problem with that. It's teaching you to be fucking average and mediocre. And if your goal isn't to be average and mediocre, but your goal is to build wealth that anybody can just by understanding the multiplication of money and compound interest and the time times amount times yield, the entire thing is fractal. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million or $10. The game is the same. And so you set the accounts up. You walk as if and talk as though. You say, well, I would like to do that when I have money. Do you even have a fucking account to put the money in? And you're like, no. Well, then you're not even doing the very first step to actually get it going. And so we have to get it going. You don't have to get it right. And so you say, well, I want to get into real estate. Cool. What's your credit score? It starts right there. Because if you have a shitty reputation, no one's going to take you serious. So anyone telling you credit score is not important is full of shit. That's for average people, not for players, dude, not for people in the money game, not for people that want to get rich. You have to have good credit. You have to have hustle. You have to think smart. You have to go harder. You have to go with it. You can't be like other people because very few people ever get in that top 10%, much less the top 3%, top 1%. Very few people who didn't go to college make $400,000 a year. And there's chicks on OnlyFans that make that in a fucking month. Money is unlimited. It's only limited by your imagination and what you do with your fucking time. Focus your time and money. And don't worry about his game or her game or because some girl makes $400,000 on OnlyFans. That ain't got shit to do with me. What it tells me is that I can make as much as I want. Fucking Sky, if that dumbass on there can do it, I can do it. That's what it tells me. And if that guy can do it, I can do it. And if he can do it, I can do it. And so you pick the one that you'll get up and do every day. It doesn't have to be the best one. It just has to be the one that you will get up and do every day. That is the game you play. The one that you will do every day. That is the one. And the reason most people in with very little is that is the game they played. Very fucking little. They weren't on it every day. And those that end with a lot, guess what you get? A lot. And a lot more. And a lot fucking more. And more produces more. And more produces more. God bless.